Good morning, students. Let us continue the story, The Barbers Trade Union. Then he asked my advice on the question of whether, as a barber educated to the fifth primary class, he would not look more dignified if he too wore a dress in the style of Dr. Kalan Khan. Then Chandu asked me, though I am studied up to fifth level, I am a son of barber. Suppose if I wear the dress as Dr. Kalan Khan wears, would I not look just like the doctor? For though I am not a highly educated doctor, he said, I learned how to treat pimples, boils, and cuts on people's bodies from my father, who learned from his father before him. He says that though I am not a fully qualified doctor, highly educated doctor, but I have learned from my father to treat with the pimples, injuries, cuts, and my father, he learnt such things from my grandfather. I agreed with his project and encouraged him with the enthusiasm I felt for everything that my hero thought or did. My reaction was that of yes. He says that I agreed and encouraged Chandu for this particular purpose because Chandu was for me a hero. Whatever he decides to do, I always encouraged him with enthusiasm. One day I was thrilled to find Chandu at the door of my house in the morning. One day, Chandu came to my house early in the morning and I was very much thrilled to see him. He was dressed up in a white turban, a white rubber coat, a pair of pumps in which I could see my face reflected in clear southward. A proper dress was now Chandu wearing at that time. He says that he was dressed up in a white turban. On the head, he was having white turban, a white rubber coat, very polished shoes, and he says that I could see my face reflected in clear south. The shoes were shining, and I could see the reflection of my face, my appearance in these shoes. And he had a leather bag in his hand. He was also having a leather bag in his hands. He was setting off on his round and had come to show me how grand he looked in his new rig out. He was ready now to go to the houses of landlords, notable people, and he just visited my house just in order to show me the new dress he wore at that time. And he wanted to know how majestic, how dignified I look in these dresses. Marvelous, I said, marvelous. I replied, splendid, it is extraordinary. And he rushed off towards the house of the landlord, whom he shaved every morning, myself following, admiring behind. In a speedy manner, he moved towards the house of the landlord, where every day, early in the morning, he used to visit in order to shave the landlord, and I was following Chandu, just admiring him. There were not many people in the street at this time. At this time, rush was not there in the street. So I alone witnessed the glory of Chandu, dressed up as a doctor. I alone was there to witness the glory of Chandu in the dress of a doctor. Except, of course, that he himself seemed rather self-conscious as he stooted up the street. He himself was conscious enough now. As he was walking in the village street, carefully avoiding the tents of cow dung cakes which the village woman stuck to walls and the dirty water which flowed through the drains. He was walking very carefully so that his dress might not get dirty, avoiding the cow dung cakes, avoiding the water that was coming out, dirty water coming out from the drains. But as we entered the home of landlord, we met Devi, the landlord's little son. As we entered in the house of the landlord, we met with landlord's son named Devi, who clapped his hands with joy and shouted to announce the coming of Chandu the barber. In a beautiful heroic dress like that of Padri Sahib of the mission school. The reaction of Devi was that he started clapping. He shouted the arrival of Chandu. Chandu has arrived in a very heroic dress, just as the Padri Sahib of missionary school used to wear. Ram Ram Ram, said Vijay Chand, the burly landlord, touching the sacred thread which hung over his ear since he had just been to the Lord. This was the reaction of the landlord when he saw Chand. He said, Ram Ram Ram. He touched the sacred thread which was there on the ear at the time he was recently coming from the toilet. The son of a pig, he is bringing a leather bag of cow hide into our house and a coat of marrow of I don't know, some other animal, and those evil black Angrezi shoes. He abuses, the landlord abuses Chandu. He calls him the son of a pig because he has brought in the house of the landlord a leather bag which was made of cow's skin as per the landlord, a coat of marrow off. He was wearing a coat and it was supposed to be made up of the flesh of, he says that I don't know the name of the animal, and those evil black Angrezi shoes, dirty, evil black colored shoes. Get out, you son of a devil. He says that just go away from my house. You are a son of the devil. You will defile my religion. He says that if you remain here, you will defile, you will impure my religion. I suppose you have no fear of anyone now that your father is dead. He says that I think you have no fear of anybody. After the death of your father, you are not afraid of anyone. But I am wearing the clothes of a doctor, Jagirdar Sahib said. Explanation was given by Chandu. He says that I have just bought the clothes of a doctor. Go away, you swine. Go away and wear clothes befitting your low status as a barber. Again he says, go away, go away. You should wear the clothes exactly fit to you as per your lower caste. And don't let me see you practicing any of your new fangled notions. He says that I just don't want to see you practicing in such new fashioned clothes, or else I will have to have you flogged. If you do not do this, he says that I will punish you. But Raj Vijay Chand Sahib Chandu appealed. Once again, he requested, get away, you useless one. Just go away, you are useless. Don't come any nearer, or we will have to treat the whole house with the sacred cow dung to purify it. He says that don't come near, otherwise, we will have to clean the entire house by using cow dung just in order to purify it. Mark it here. Thank you very much.